What's up, YouTube? My name's Tony and welcome to Risque Disc Records. If you've watched my channel in the past, you'll know that I'm a big fan of Neve 1073s and Neve 1073 styled preamps and EQs. So today I'm really excited to be bringing you the 1073 Clone Shootout. We're going to be taking a look at 3 different clones of the Neve 1073. So if you've never heard of the 1073 before, it was originally released in 1970 when Wessex Studios in London bought an A88 console from Neve, which was the first console to be loaded with 1073 preamps. That board and that studio quickly gained a reputation for just sounding amazing, and ever since then people have been in love with the 1073 sound. There's an absolute ton of companies out there who do 1073 clones, ranging in price from thousands of dollars down to hundreds of dollars, and also several plugin companies have emulated the 1073 EQ. So today we've got 4 recreations of the 1073 that we're going to put to the test. The Warm Audio WA73, the Golden Age Project Pre73 linked with the EQ73, and the BAE 1084. The 1084 model has in the past been called the Hot Rodded 1073. It's essentially the same build as a 1073, except you get additional frequency options on the high shelf and a high Q setting on the mid-range. One of the things that I really like about Warm Audio's take on the 1073 is that they included some of the extra frequency options on the high EQ band that were found on the 1084. Part of the defining sound of the 1073 comes from their Carn Hill transformers on the input and output stage. The Golden Age Project Pre73 does not include these Carn Hill transformers on the input or output stages, but the BAE and Warm Audio units do. In this shootout we're going to test out each preamp on 2 sources, an electric guitar, which will be reamped through my orange Rocker 30 and picked up by a Shure SM57, and on a vocal track provided by my friend Jay Kell. After we test out the pre's, we'll also shoot out the EQ section, which will include our 4th clone of the 1073, the Waves Scheps 73. So all 3 of these units have slight differences about them. The BAE and the Warm Audio units are styled to look like the original Neve 1073s, whereas the Golden Age Project has its own distinct style. Both the BAE and Warm Audio units have the same choice of frequency on each of their EQ bands. However, the BAE one, being modeled as a 1084, has a high Q setting on the mid frequency, which the Warm Audio unit doesn't have. The Golden Age Project unit has added quite a few different frequency bands to its EQ section. The mid frequency can go from 160 Hz up to 10 kHz. The high frequency goes in steps from 8 kHz to 24 kHz, and the low frequency goes in steps from 20 Hz to 300 Hz. On the Golden Age Project unit, you can select which bands of your EQ are active, so if you only want a mid-range booster cut, you can have only a mid-range booster cut. The other 2 units have a similar function on the selector knob, but as far as the EQ overall is concerned, there's an on and off switch that controls all 3 bands. The BAE and the Warm Audio units both have a high-pass filter on them, with the BAE even including a low-pass filter. The GAP, on the other hand, doesn't have either. The BAE unit has a switch on the right-hand side to switch from 1200 ohms to a 300 ohm impedance. The Warm Audio unit has a similar switch. The exact measure of impedance isn't listed on there, and it's just called a tone switch. All 3 of these units have a phase reverse function, a DI function, and phantom power, but only the Warm Audio unit features an insert send and receive that you can toggle on and off with a switch on the front. All 3 of the units have an instrument input on the front, but the Warm Audio unit also includes an XLR input on the front, as well as an XLR input on the rear. Well, now that we've gotten to know these units just a little bit, let's hear how they sound. After listening through the reamped guitar part recorded through the different preamps, I decided I liked the sound of the BAE preamp. So I'm going to take that recording, run it back through each of these units so we can test out the EQ function on them as an insert.
She stands up, looks around, there's nothing to be found. She takes a breath and sighs. She's back on track, she makes a fist, raise it high, but here's the twist. Where's the things that made her cry? Where's the things that made her cry? Where's the pain that made her cry? I said, where's the pain that made her cry? Yeah. Where's the pain that made her die? She stands up, looks around, there's nothing to be found. She takes a breath and sighs. She's back on track, she makes a fist, raise it high, but here's the twist. Where's the things that made her cry? Where's the things that made her cry? Where's the pain that made her cry? I said, where's the pain that made her cry? Yep. Where's the pain that made her die? Ooh. She stands up, looks around, there's nothing to be found. Takes a breath and sighs. She's back on track, she makes a fist, raise it high, but here's the twist. Where's the things that made her cry? Where's the things that made her cry? Well, I said, where's the pain that made her cry? Where's the pain that made her die? Yeah. Where's the pain that made her cry? She stands up, looks around, there's nothing to be found. She takes a breath and sighs. She's back on track, she makes a fist, raise it high, but here's the twist. Where's the things that made her cry? Where's the things that made her cry? Where's the pain that made her cry? I said, where's the pain that made her die? Yeah. Where's the pain that made her cry?
So just like I did with the guitar tracks, I'm going to take the recording from the BAE preamp and run that back through each of these units so we can test out the EQ section on them.
She stands up, looks around, there's nothing to be found. Takes a breath and sighs. She's back on track, she makes a fist, raise it high, but here's the twist. Where's the things that made her cry? Where's the things that made her cry? Well, I said, where's the pain that made her cry? Where's the pain that made her die? Yeah. Where's the pain that made her cry? stands up, looks around, there's nothing to be found. Takes a breath and sighs. She's back on track, she makes a fist, raise it high, but here's the twist. Well, some things that made her cry. Well, some things that made her cry. What's it? Well, some pain that made her cry. Well, some pain that made her die. Yeah. Well, some pain that made her cry. Nothing to be found. Takes a breath and sighs. She's back on track, she makes a fist, raise it high, but here's the twist. Well, some things that made her cry. Well, some things that made her cry. What's it? Well, some pain that made her cry. Well, the pain that made her die. Yeah. Well, the pain that made her cry. She stands up, looks around, there's nothing to be found. Takes a breath and sighs. She's back on track, she makes a fist, raise it high, but here's the twist. Well, some things that made her cry. Well, some things that made her cry. What's it? Well, some pain that made her cry. Well, the pain that made her die. Yeah. Well, the pain that made her cry. She stands up, looks around, there's nothing to be found. Takes a breath and sighs. Back on track, she makes a fist, raise it high, but here's the twist. Well, some things that made her cry. Well, some things that made her cry. What's it? Well, some pain that made her cry. Well, some pain that made her die. Yeah. Well, the pain that made her cry. She stands up, looks around, there's nothing to be found. Takes a breath and sighs. Back on track, she makes a fist, raise it high, but here's the twist. Well, some things that made her cry. Well, some things that made her cry. What's it? Well, some pain that made her cry. Well, some pain that made her die. Yeah. Well, some pain that made her cry. She stands up, looks around, there's nothing to be found. Takes a breath and sighs. She's back on track, she makes a fist, raise it high, but here's the twist. Where's the things that made her cry? Where's the things that made her cry? Oh, I said, where's the pain that made her cry? Where's the pain that made her die? Yeah. Where's the pain that made her cry? She stands up, looks around. There's nothing to be found. Takes a breath and sighs. She's back on track. She makes a fist. Raise it high, but here's the twist. Where's the things that made her cry? Where's the things that made her cry? Oh, I said, where's the pain that made her cry? Where's the pain that made her die? Yeah. Where's the pain that made her cry? She stands up, looks around. There's nothing to be found. Takes a breath and sighs. She's back on track. She makes a fist. Raise it high, but here's the twist. Where's the things that made her cry? Where's the things that made her cry? Oh, I said, where's the pain that made her cry? Where's the pain that made her die? Yeah. Where's the pain that made her cry?
Well guys, head down to the comment section, let me know what you thought about all these preamps. Now I've had the GAP EQ for some time, but this is the first time I've ever tried out the preamp itself. It is a nice sounding preamp, but it seems to have a little bit of a boost between the 150 and 300 Hz regions, which is generally a bit of a muddy region. And it also seems to have a little bit of a frequency bump in the 2 to 3 kHz region, which gives it a bit of a brittle sound in the high mids. All three of these units seem to have a little bit of a bump in the low end and a little bit of the bump in the mids, with the BAE having its bump around 100 to 300 Hz, and also between about 800 to 1.5K, which gives it a much warmer, crisper sound than the other two. The Warm Audio unit seems to have a nice low mid-range bump between about 250 to 500 Hz, and another boost in the high end around 4K. That makes it sound quite a bit brighter than the other two units, possibly a little bit sizzly on the high end. And it also seems to be a bit more mid-rangey of a preamp, whereas the BAE unit seemed to have a lot more presence in the lows. I did enjoy having the extra EQ bands on the GAP EQ, although when using other 1073 clones, I can't say I've ever felt limited by the amount of EQ options. On the EQs, I found the high frequency to be the sweetest on the Warm Audio unit, but I think the BAE took the cake on the other two bands. Well, thanks again for watching guys. Like I said, hit that comment section, let me know what you think of all these units. If you liked this video and would like to see more content like this one, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. Thanks again for watching guys, we'll see you next time.